Talking with Jerry.
Hey, this is going to be real short. I wasn't even going to do this particular podcast this evening because there have been so many other podcasters, not just black podcasters, but a number of white podcasters as well, doing commentary on Bill Maher and his show that he had last Friday. I just said, well, let me add my 2 cents. If you follow my podcast, you know I've done 3 episodes about Bill Maher and his racist remarks, specifically relating to slavery and his dismissal of treating slavery as something that was almost good for America and almost not as bad for black people in this country. And let's just listen to his comments on his show this Friday. He had as a guest Elon Musk, so it's a perfect opportunity for Bill Maher to sit with another very wealthy white man, someone who is perhaps maybe the world's wealthiest individual, who's from South Africa, whose company Tesla car, has been sued by the black workers because of the treatment that they received when Elon Musk would come to the plant. They had to go to the back. They had to deal with people hanging nooses in the workplace. They had to deal with all types of negative comments being made towards them as employees of the plant, all types of discrimination. So there's been lawsuits that have been filed against Tesla for over a year now by the black employees. And of course, when George Floyd died, recently Elon Musk made some negative comments about his death, almost as if, he really died from something other than the police officer Chauvin's knee on his neck. So anybody that's from South Africa, where Elon Musk is from, and then on top of that, he never condemned apartheid. I haven't been able to ever find any references to where he's actually publicly come out and said that apartheid was wrong. And of course, you may not know that he grew up wealthy. He makes his story of life seems like he didn't have to struggle, but when his family came here, where did he live? In Malibu. And his father owned an emerald mine in Africa. Oh, Africa, where the natural resources belong to the black people, but his father owned an emerald mine. Anyway, let's listen to Elon Musk and Bill Maher, and they're going to discuss being woke, slavery, and some things that are really disturbing. Let's go.
But I think the parents are just generally not aware of what their kids are being taught, or what they're not being taught.
They're letting the kids think that they're equal.
So here's Bill Maher once again talking about slavery, dismissing it like it was nothing. So what else? And there was slavery in other countries. No, Bill, there was not chattel slavery. There was not any historical past of people going to another country, actually a continent, Africa, and dragging people all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to build a new world for them for free. And in the case of American slavery, keeping those people not on plantations, I'd call them concentration camps, for hundreds of years, generation after generation after generation. No, Bill, there was not anything like it, not like American slavery. And I'm sure, Bill, that if someone wanted, as I've said in my past podcasts, when you have diminished slavery in this country, that if someone tried to diminish the Holocaust, which was terrible and happened to the Jewish people only for really a few years in Nazi Germany, as terrible as it was, that wouldn't be right. Now let's go on to George Washington, which this example that Elon Musk gave, and of course, George Washington did own slaves. I did something on George Washington's slave name, George, and how he treated him. But you know, we can't whitewash history. Yes, George Washington did own slaves. And not only did he own slaves, he didn't do anything nice to his slaves, because people don't know specific things about George Washington and the way he treated his slaves. For example, he would only buy them one pair of clothes per year to wear. The children on his plantations, he would not even buy them shoes. So they had to walk around barefoot in the cold, in snow and in rain and all kinds of weather. They were barefoot. And then he would separate families. In one case, one male slave, he made him live miles away because his land, his plantations were so large. He was the largest landowner in the country, that the man only on Sunday would be able to walk and see his family. And it was such a far distance that on Monday he'd be so tired to come back to work, you know, to get back to where he actually lived on almost this whole nother plantation that George Washington owned. And George Washington would be upset because the man would be tired from walking on the Sunday to visit his family, the one day a week that he could see him. So he did a lot of evil things. Yes, you could say that he was the father of this country, but we cannot cover up the evil that he did as a slave owner. It's almost like the National Park Service, when you used to go to Mount Vernon, George Washington's home, and they would say, oh, this is where the workers lived. It took black people to picket the National Park Service for decades to get them to finally go and speak on the truth when visitors visit Mount Vernon and say, this is the slave quarters. No, not where the workers lived, Bill Maher. This is the slave quarters. You could try and dress it up as much as you want. Young people want the truth. They don't want to know lies. And it's really disgraceful that you go on a full racist rant, once again almost justifying slavery, wanting to gloss over and whitewash history and make someone look like George Washington look like he's some perfect individual. And now let me get to the last and closing point, which is calling woke and agreeing with Elon Musk that woke is some type of a virus. Now here is a term created by black people to bring awareness to ourselves about protecting yourself. Many years ago, I talked about this when traveling. Stay aware, stay woke. And now it's being flipped, not only to identify a term with black people, but now you want to agree with Elon Musk that this is a virus that's infecting society.
I never thought that. Because I think you're dealing with big civilizational issues and problems, and I was right on your page. I think Twitter is one of them. I mean, you have talked about this woke mind virus.
Yes.
In really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, you know, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic.
Pause it for a second.
So I guess we're supposed to destroy black people because we say the term woke, or because any people agree that being woke, being conscious is a good thing. Oh no, that's negative. So here you go on the racist rant again, identifying something that relates to black people and making it into something negative. Really disgraceful. But of course you have a platform to get away with things like this. And I wonder, are you turning into the next Tucker Carlson? Something to think about. All right, I don't know what you think, but Bill Maher, he's really getting to be very disgusting. Don't forget to subscribe.